Welcome to Halle 424 in Hamburg, Germany. And with me here is trumpeter, Polish trumpeter Emil Miszk. Welcome, Emil.
Thank you. Hello.
You are here with your septet, as far as I know. So
That's
now, what are you going to play?
We're gonna play my compositions, but now we have pretty nice set. Consists of material from our 3 albums. So we're gonna play some tunes from first album Don't Hesitate, which was released in 2018. We'll also play some music from Artificial Stupidity, which is our second album, and maybe a bit of scratches for 8 musicians, which is our third album.
So now, if I hear 8 or 7 musicians, that's a lot on stage, and it sounds as if the compositions were kind of more in a big band or in a bigger compositorial way. So how would you describe your music? Is it orchestral pieces or is it songs? What are you going to play?
It looks like I'm willing to compose some sort of suites, pieces where you can find a lot of different motifs, a lot of different parts, and those moments creates bigger compositions. It's not just songs, so-called. It's more like complex, maybe sometimes in a way like classical composers. It's when you have first part, then you have some development, and then you have like an ending or so on. So I could say it's more like jazz idiom within a classical approach to the compositions. I'm may I say that I'm like old school, also classical trained. So I really love to sit down and in a quiet environment, like just focus on my score and write really in the classical way the full score for musicians. When you have like different parts, the dedicated parts, the different instruments. So then you can have more orchestral. It's not maybe big band. It's more like orchestral sound with instruments which you can find in a big band setup. But I think our sound is coming more from like a classical genre, let's say.
As I could see on stage, you have like saxophone, your trumpet, of course, trombone, and guitar.
Yes.
Plus a rhythm section with piano, right?
Yes, that's true.
So now, you just said you're coming from this classical thinking and philosophy a little bit, but where did you develop all that? Which part of Poland are you from? Which city? And where did you get in touch with music at all?
I started playing the trumpet when I was 7, so it was. In that times, it was something unique because normally they don't allow you to start playing trumpet or like a brass instrument when you're really young, when you're that young, because of development of your body, teeth and lungs and so on. So a lot of musicians like brass. Musicians, they start with piano or violin or guitar, and then later they switch for brass instruments, for example. But I always wanted to play trumpet, and I'm really glad that the school and teacher, trumpet teacher. I started my education in Lemberg, which is on the north of Poland, and I grew up in the small village near Lemberg, but then I moved to Gdańsk, where I continued my education in a secondary music school. Then I finished the Academy of Music in Gdańsk. So I was surrounded, for a long time, I was surrounded by the classical environment and classical musicians. But in the same time, I feel like from the beginning, I had the impression that I would love to change something. Like the classical sheet was, the chart was kind of boring. Like to play what is written in the music score is like, okay, I can play it, but maybe I can add something. And from that point, I started to improvise by myself in practice room, sometimes to add small motifs to the classical pieces. I started to make like different things from it. So I think that's my story.
At that point, did you know about jazz at all?
No, not really. It was like impression, but I have really strong feeling from my childhood when my parents gave me the CD. It was, I think, my first album, jazz album, and it was like how to say, like anthology maybe, like the group of compositions by Glenn Miller, and I, immediately loved the sound of the big ensemble, big orchestra, and from that moment, I think this album changed me, and I started to think about music in a different way. That I knew, of course, there is jazz music, like besides of classical, but from that moment, I feel like something that the journey and the marriage with jazz and improvised music started. And it's really a strong feeling when you can, because I did all by myself. I didn't have teachers that taught me jazz music or how to improvise. Of course, in the Academy of Music, I had opportunity to work with jazz masters, but before the academy, so like my first 10 years or 12 years of playing the trumpet, I had only classical
education.
Yeah, education. Yeah, thank you. So I did it by myself. It was like just some impressions and images, and of course a lot of trying and a lot of mistakes, and I think I failed a lot, like trying to invent something new besides of what I had to play like in the classical studies, but that was fun, and I think I still have a lot of fun of being on stage and playing and changing the music in the very moment.
And you seem to be pretty successful with it, because you've made yourself a name in Poland and in the jazz field. And coming to Poland back again, in the history of Polish jazz, we have strong characters. I mean, one of them is Tomasz Stanko, a trumpeter and an icon of Polish jazz, who was strong when there was kind of a political environment that some of the musicians kind of answered with some kind of music. In that days, it was the free jazz movement that kind of went through Poland. So how much are you in touch with that time, and how much is it part of your today's environment?
I think it means a lot to me, and it's really something, and it's really amazing to have an opportunity to continue this story about Thomas Steinko and a lot of different great musicians and artists from Poland from that time. I think it's the most important thing about being a jazz musician, like playing jazz, like the freedom, the opportunity to improvise on stage, to create something in the very moment. Like this is really, it could be also an answer to something. Like for example, like you said about like political state in Poland or like in Europe, like in Eastern Europe, for example, like Central Eastern Europe. Like they had to find some ways to express themselves through it. Like this is very important, and jazz and improvised music and free jazz is like even more. It's a great field to do such a thing, like express yourself, like to be, like anti system, or like to not agree with a lot of things which are going on and surround you. So I think this is very important to me, and I'm glad that I can continue the story.
And I think it can get kind of intense with your band members, and as you said, the energy, the interaction that you have is kind of intense. And your compositions give space for that kind of musical development. What are you gonna do tonight? Is that always up to the room, the audience, or is it always that you can develop that from the point?
I think the most important thing with Emil Miszk and the Sonic Syndicate is to create the atmosphere on the stage, because we are in 7 on the stage, and it's really important to hear everyone, to feel everyone, and to be there for everyone, like, and to let everyone know that I'm here for you, and we all create the atmosphere, and then we can think about what you said, the room, the audience, but the most important part is to create the atmosphere on the stage, to feel comfortable with everything, and of course to follow the score, because like I said, my compositions are quite complex, and they are like sweet. So a lot of things going on with the score, and you have to follow, your friends on stage. So this is really challenging, and this is really important for us to create the nice mood on the stage. And then I think people can take it from us and cherish the moment. I think that's the most beautiful part. I love it.
If you would announce this evening on social media in very short words, what would you say that people should come?
That's hard to narrow it, but I think dear listeners, it's gonna be amazing night when you can meet the Polish and the German approach to the young artists, like the young musicians' perspective. You can meet young musicians' perspective in one night from Poland and from Germany, because it's really different, I suppose, and that makes it really interesting.
So now, this is an offer. Come to see Emil Miszk. It will be a blast.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Emil
Thank you.
Miszk. Thanks for talking to me.